Right, this is a quick walk around video for a Honda CRV. This is the 2.2 EX diesel. Lovely car, finished in Nighthawk black, fitted with a couple of major options on the vehicle. Notably, it's got the dynamic body pack, which is very sought after on these cars. So you can tell them they've got these big, bold front bumpers on them with the slats around the front fog lights there. And again, same treatment on the rear of the car, on the rear bumper. Fitted with upgraded alloys from Honda as well, and the rear spoiler. Just fundamentally changes the whole look of the car. Car's in wonderful condition. Unfortunately, it's been a sort of a dull, drizzly day so far today. Pressure being what it is to get these videos done, I sometimes can't choose the days in which I do them, so I apologise if it's damp today. Comes with a wonderful number plate, MY07CRV, and that's absolutely fantastic, and that stays on the car as well. But a really good looking car. The car's covered 87,000 miles and benefits from a full Honda history, which I'll detail towards the end of the video for you. The car's wonderful condition. Just worth pointing out, as I do on all the videos, engines always sound much noisier on the videos than they do in reality. I always have them running, I want people to hear them, but just be aware of that. Front tyre of the car, absolutely loads and loads of tread, and the alloy generally in very good condition. Just a tiny bit of marking on the outside edge of the car, of the wheel there. Panel works all incredibly clean and crisp. For a car that's done this miles, it's in wonderful condition. That's not to say it hasn't got the odd mark on the car. Of course it has. I mean, it wouldn't be, you know, it'd have to be kind of resprayed, and we don't do that. That's this. You see the cars as they are. So I do apologise if they're damp, but I really wish it was dry. You should see just how clean and crisp this car is. Rear tyre on this side again, loads of tread, and alloy again in lovely condition. Going around the back of the car, I love this stance on the CRV with these packs. You've got this lovely high level spoiler, deeper rear spoiler. Those alloys just makes it look a really fabulous looking car. It's so different from the standard vehicles. And if you see one, you know, this kit's thousands of pounds to fit onto a new car. But only adds another sort of 500 to 1,000, you know, spec for spec compared to standard vehicles at this age and price range. Coming around the back, said all in lovely condition, it really is. Near side of the car, again, really clean and crisp. Panel works all absolutely super there. As with the other side, there's the odd tiny little mark which, you know, the touch and stick will get rid of, just, you know, so literally just a couple of minuscule little marks. Alloy again, really good. Just, I mean, they're original, they're not been painted, which is rare on this age of car, so to see them this good is, you know, say rare indeed. But down the panels of the car, just to show that literally there's a couple of tiny little marks, just one there, but it just needs a bit of touch and painting, so that's all it needs. You know, it's but as I said, we want to keep this car original because it's rare to find them like this. Final wheel and tyres again, absolutely tons and tons of tread on it. Alloy's really good, just a tiniest little bit of curbing on the outer edge of the wheel there. But all in all, an absolutely superb looking car. Alright, coming into the boot area of the car, absolutely massive boots on these CRVs, of which I have had way too many to count. Brilliantly done. And it's nice to see here, sorry, I just pan back a bit. Quite often you find there's bits missing out of them, sort of parcel shelves, the rear middle shelves are gone, but this is all still intact. Obviously the top cover, pop that down. You can just lift them out ever so easily, just by pop them out of there if you don't want them in. This middle shelf, I don't know, I don't see any great value in it. I'm sure some people do. You can just pop that up to give you access underneath there, or you can remove the whole thing, and because if you see the shaping there, that is identical to the shaping under here. So all you do is you just plonk it under there and it forms a cover, and you end up with it not being in the way. But as I said, I'm sure there's people who sort of find them incredibly useful. I don't. Right, coming to the back of the car now, again in fabulous condition. Worth bearing in mind that all these CRVs, they are predominantly family cars, and unfortunately families normally means children, as I well know, and that means kicked, scratched interiors. This one's been kept beautifully. Back of the rear seats, which take a battering from kids, really good. It says again, as with the exterior, it's not without any marks, of course it has, but they're just, it's so clean and crisp compared to most of this type and age. It's absolutely super. Loads and loads and loads of rear leg room, and the leatherwork is in absolutely beautiful condition. You can also, worth point, underneath here, as with conventional passenger seat, there's a bar under here. If you pull that up, you can pull the seat forward about that far, so it extends the boot area. And what's really clever on these, you can adjust the angle of the seats as well for, to increase the comfort, or nipping in sort of child seats more effectively. But really fantastic condition. Right, coming to the front of the vehicle now, driver's door card, all again in really good condition. Sill areas all clean as a whistle. Car benefits from a full set of Honda mats. Obviously electric driver's seat on the leatherwork in really good condition. There's no sort of wear on there at all of any note. Just when you're getting in and out, the bolster's all really good. Just compress slightly on the exit there, which is absolutely normal. But the leatherwork, as you can see, absolutely spot on. Come across the passenger seat there, again, wonderful condition. If I look up as well, EX model, so you get this lovely big panoramic roof. If you get a nice sunny day, keep praying we'll get one. Close it over. Days out today, a bit muggy and cloudy. You have it nice and open, brightens up the interior. Right, so inside the car now, obviously engine's still running, and the plastics in the interior of this car are probably one of the best you'll ever see, pretty much at any mileage. Absolutely superb condition. Fully operational sat nav. I'm just going to close the panoramic roof blind because it sometimes reflects on those. That's a bit better. There we go. All working absolutely beautifully. Pop the car into reverse, and you end up with a nice crystal clear rear parking camera there as well, which is really effective. Climate control system all works beautifully. All the controls in superb condition. The only wear I can find on this car was a tiny bit. In fact, what's it on this? Oh, just a tiny little bit on the gator there. There you go. And when you consider that these are quite often really badly damaged at this mileage, with sort of rings and trinkets and bracelets and goodness knows what else, to find one as nice as that is very rare indeed. Come to the centre console here. We've got obviously heated seats, your ashtray thing you can sort of put in various different positions, and heated seats all work exactly as they should. Finally, coming across the main binnacle of the car, as you can see there, 87,337 miles, 77 miles. This video, just because of editing, was done after the road test, so it's kind of the other way around, but it's just the way it is edited. Multifunction steering wheel, auto lights and auto wipers, so you've got audio top left, bottom left you've got voice activation. Right hand side ignore. The only thing that I could find that doesn't work on the car is the cruise control. It may be something simple, but because it's got the radar operation, they're too expensive to fix if they do ever go wrong. If it was something as simple as a fuse, we'll do it, but you can press activation, you say ACC come up, but when you press to activate it, it doesn't kick in. Given how busy our roads are, in all honesty, I don't see it as a huge deal. But you said we are very honest on these videos. If there's any issues at all, we will let you know, so I've clearly just done. Just thought to show you full owner's manual pack, incorporating the car's manual and the sat nav system manual, and the original lock and wheel nut set there as well for the car. Finally, just to show you, we've got an absolutely wonderful service history for the vehicle. We've got services all done by Honda, and I think they're all the same dealer as well, which is fantastic. So we've got services at 12,000, 21,000, 30, 43, 52, 62, 70, 77, and last one at 84,711 miles. So all done by. Alright, this is the road test video for a Honda CRV. This car is registered, it's a great registration number actually, it's MY07CRV, which is a cracking plate. It's a 2.2 EX diesel with 87,330, I'll just say it again, 87,377 miles. The reason we do the road tests is basically we're sold to all over the UK and the near continent, and we just want people to see the cars in operation prior to coming to see us, so that way if there's any issues with the car we can let you know about it before you come to us. Road tests are done on country roads close to our premises, so should be wholly representative of what you should feel yourself when you come and see and drive the car if you're looking to purchase it. Starting with the engine of the car, CTDI diesel engine, wonderful units, worth pointing out again, we always do, but there's no DPF filters on these cars, which are causing nightmares for lots of manufacturers, and there's no cam belts either. It's a cam chain driven engine, so there's no scheduled change, so again that's a huge bill that you don't have to face on the Hondas. Engine itself starts absolutely first turn of the key, there's no strange noises or vibrations. It's a brilliant unit, yeah, hugely economical, 43 to the gallons, relatively easy to achieve in normal driving style, but it's got a reputation for incredible longevity, and its reliability record is second to none. While I'm stationary here, clutch in, clutch out, clutch in, clutch out. There's no change in engine note on the engine. There's no vibrations, and on the clutch pedal there's no squeaks or clicks from the actuation of it either. No warning lights on the dashboard related to the engine or anything else for that matter. Not that I'd expect there to be, certainly given the way the car's been looked after, because it's got a absolutely stunning service history, as you'll know from seeing the previous video. Engine runs through clutch into gearbox. Clutch is absolutely spot on, absolutely smooth and buttery in operation, bites perfectly, really good, and then goes through to the best manual gearbox in this class by a country mile. This one exhibits absolutely zero wear in the actuation. It's precise, it's short in throw, synchro mesh is brilliantly done. It's just a joy to use. It's a lot of gearboxes from front wheel drive cars now can be kind of vague and imprecise, because they're cable operated. Honda seem to achieve a kind of a mechanical feel to it, which is very hard to do. But this one just is absolutely superb. Gear lever mounted up nice and high, but it's just that the quality of the change is simply superb. You compare that to virtually any competitor and it absolutely beats them hands down. On top of which, its reliability again, we've never touched a manual gearbox in a CRV, and I don't wish to tempt fate, but we've had them with double this miles and still feels the same. It is a very, very, very tough unit indeed. But the actuation on this is a joy to use, and it's the engine and the clutch are utterly faultless, and show sort of no wear at all. It does pull very well indeed. Steering the car is, I've always loved the CRV steering. It's nicely weighted, very precise. Certainly given the size of the car, it's not a sports car, but it doesn't it's not vague or wandery in any way, and it works beautifully with the suspension of the car. It's got a really lovely balance between sort of ride and handling, and again, when I'm driving the car on these test drives, I'm feeling out for kind of, you'll hear them going over bumps, but what I'm really listening out for is those mechanical noises underneath, that kind of vagueness or looseness, but there's none. It rides absolutely beautifully, but in conjunction with the steering, and unlike a lot of SUVs, as I hate to call them, of this type, it doesn't have roly-poly handling through the corners, because it remains very stable, very flat in its cornering stance, because it's slightly lower and narrower than the previous generation CRV, and so corners like this, it really isn't keeling over. It maintains its composure really, really nicely. As I drive the cars, I also listen out for kind of wind noises that shouldn't be there, the legal speeds, legal maximum speeds. So if someone's accidentally skagged a seal, or windscreen's badly fitted or something like that, then you'll hear it quite clearly. But there's nothing on this. They are very refined cars for this type of vehicle, and there's no noises coming into here that shouldn't really be there. I'm just going to give the brakes a bit of a jab. So if you hear something clattering forward, it's probably just a price board in the car. So Yeah, no, it's a really lovely solid brake pedal. Car pulls up straight and true. There's no pulsing coming back through the brake pedal or vibrations, which suggests that discs and pads and everything are in good order underneath. The only thing I know on this vehicle, as you'll probably know from the road test, the walk around video, is this car actually has what's called ACC cruise control, which is like a radar system, which is a very, very nice system actually, but it doesn't work on this car. It could be that someone's damaged the little radar because it's hidden behind the Honda badge on the front. It could just be a fuse. We're not looked into it, not really going to, because for the benefits of cruise control, which is minimal on the roads as busy as they are in this country, it just doesn't make any financial sense to try and get that rectified. If it was just a fuse, we'd do it, but it activates there, but then as soon as I press it, it just beeps and says off, so I don't think it is a fuse. We are honest in these videos, and that it just doesn't make any sense to do it, in all honesty. Everything else inside this car, I mean, the car is in absolutely beautiful condition. The interior plastics are certainly one of the best I've seen, even with cars done a third of this miles. It just looks clean and crisp. It's incredibly well looked after. Any signs of wear are tiny, and as I said, much more in common with a keeping with a sort of much lower mileage vehicle. The whole dashboard, I love it on the CRVs anyway. It's busy enough because it's a high spec, but it's minimalist enough so it's not too showy. Being an EX spec car, because that's really all we sell of this type, it's big specifications. So obviously black leather and heated seats. Electric seats work perfectly. Heated seats functions absolutely fine. Lovely big dominating sat-nav system there as well. Again, it works exactly as it should. Climate control system and air conditioning, absolutely spot on. Quality of the controls is absolutely astonishing. It really is a beautifully made car. Coming across to the main dashboard cluster here, again, this is the sort of stuff I like. I've got one of the later generation ones, and I mean, it's still good, but I don't like the dashboard as much as this. It's too busy. This one's classic Honda. Two big symmetrical dials, beautifully legible, just so easy to read and assimilate that information. Temperature gauge, a third of the way up at maximum operating temperatures. So it's normal operating range, which is exactly what it wants to be on any Honda car. Pixelation of everything, absolutely spot on. Then you come to the obviously auto lights, auto wipers work perfectly, and your multifunction steering wheel, which is in really fantastic order. But it just drives so nicely. They have a reputation in the trade as being head and shoulders above all the other SUVs for sort of reliability, long term and otherwise. Even Hondas can have faults, but they're much fewer and further between, and generally a lot cheaper to fix. But what it strikes is a really good balance between a really good family car, which is why I've had so many of them. They're comfortable, they're not boring to drive, they're actually quite interesting cars to drive, but their reliability, but also their usefulness. The reason I've got one is that I've got a couple of kids, all the stuff that goes with them, it just fits everyone beautifully in the car, in comfort. My kids don't get car sick on them, which they do in lots of other cars, because they say they don't roll around as much. But what I love is, because I do occasionally need the four-wheel drive, which is if I've got a caravan with tow across there's kind of some soft ground. I see many cars just stood there spinning their wheels. Honda worked out very quickly that the vast majority of time you'll never use it, so why have it active? So like now we're just running in front-wheel drive, the most efficient way to pull any car along, and it does that until you need it. So if I had a caravan on the back now, I was going across an icy field, going up an icy hill, it senses the front wheel starting to spin, activates rear wheel drive, and it just the transition and grip traction rather is brilliantly done, and we've never ever had an issue with them, and we've sold well over 1,000. with this four-wheel drive system. It is absolutely beautifully made, but just so clever, because you know, by not running a four-wheel drive the whole time, you're basically not using any extra fuel because you're having to run it, frictional losses that obviously a permanent four-wheel drive brings, the extra tyre wear, uneven tyre wear you get on a lot of them, you know, differential wind-up on some lousy manufacturers, but also, you know, it's the mechanical wear and tear and losses through the machine. So, you know, it's a very, very, very clever system, but it's clever in its simplicity. That's what's brilliant about it. But anyway, the purpose of the road test was really just to give you some feedback on the car. The car drives absolutely beautifully. Aside from the cruise control function there, I can't find anything on the car that merits any sort of, you know, to paying any attention to or making note of it. It's just it's a wonderful example of a really fabulous car. If I've missed anything out on the test drive, don't hesitate, please do give us a call. Obviously, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about the vehicle.